I'm Noam from Comet-ME, an Israeli-Palestinian organization. And what I'd like to share with you our development during the last 2 or 3 years in water pumping, mainly on wind pumping. So, it's a very short presentation, so only this slide can probably people spend an hour to talk about needs, etc. I'd like to skip it, but just say that there's a huge market for water pumping in the developing world, and what we were looking for is a low-cost pumping for a single farmer for off-grid community, which we believe is a key for the development. So we try to look at very specific specification. Cost is the main issue. We talked about it when we were in Dakar, and how farmers find it hard to raise the funds with microfinance or any other mechanism just to get pumping to his field. It must be built locally. It should be very simple and easy to maintain. And we were talking about flow rate between 1 to 5 cubic meter a day, assuming that 5 cubic meter of water is something that is good for 1 dunam. Again, it's a single farmer. It's not a huge farm. It's kind of the minimum, and this is what we were kind of looking at. If we have time, we can later talk why we chose this. And we tried to look at existing technology. Everybody knows this one. We visited in Dakar during the field visit, one of these. It's relatively high cost. It's imported. It is reliable, though it needs skills. It fails. It's a machine. The one that we saw in our field trip was broken, and nobody cared to fix it. It uses high power. It has a variety of pumping head and flow rate. Like, you can find many combinations. Obviously, the deeper the pump head, or the larger the pump head, the lower the flow rate. The core technology of this machine is the gear. It's a dedicated gear, and it doesn't make sense that a group of people like us will try to compete with a big company building such gears. So if you want to try to go to a homebrewed horizontal axis machine like this one that we tried and built, I'll show you a short video. The few groups building such machine, I like the one of IMAS in Bolivia. They're building a similar machine. This one I built from PVC pipes that I cut. It's a tilt tower, so the rod goes inside the tilt tower. It's a simple single action piston pump. Actually, it's based on the design of this guy from IMAS in Bolivia, the pump itself. The big disadvantage of this machine is that you get quite high TSR, you get high speed, and at the end it kills the pump. The pump cannot sustain such high speed. A piston pump needs to go slowly at a long strokes. Now, putting gears into this one to slow the motion is quite complicated. For instance, you can't just put a gear on the top, slow down the speed, and then put a gear down, because you still need the mechanism that the turbine will follow the wind. So you need the up gear up there and down gear at the bottom. It's getting too complicated, and this is something that at the end we decided to look in a different direction. Also, braking system is not trivial. Here what I did is I used the furling tail, and I used the pulley on the furling tail that if I really wanted to stop it, I used to, you know, pull the rope and the tail would go up. So we tried to look at vertical axis with the help of Yun that was working. He was leading this project actually. We built this Savonius to show you how it works. Later we could look at some of the design. It's a helical Savonius. It's built from barrels, plastic PVC or plastic barrels that we cut. And then we put a gear. It was a reduction gear, 5 times reduction ratio, 5/6 reduction ratio, and this one is installed in our center. It is installed in a cistern. Let's see a little bit. These are the design parameter that we had, and this is the design flow rate and pump head, expected pump head. We made it a bit larger than this design. At the location that we put it above the cistern, the wind speed distribution is kind of low. It's not very, the location is not optimal. So this is how it looked in the design. This is the helical frame. Very, very simple. Over there at the top you can see the gear, or you can see the gear here. Very simple braking system on a plywood thing. How much time I have more? 3 minutes. Right. This is how we build it. You can see, again, this one is on a tilt tower. We might need to change it in the future, but this is how we raised it. These are some of the results. We put an RPM sensor and we measured the flow rate. You can see that roughly you have, surprisingly first, the RPM is quite high of this machine. You can see it gets to more than 200 RPM, this Savonius baby, which was quite amazing. It's quite a powerful machine. And you can see that roughly 1 liter per second produces 1 liter per minute. So 8 meters per minute produces roughly between 8 or 10 liters per minute. This is the dedicated pump we built. It's a dual action piston pump, meaning the piston goes down, it pumps one way, the piston goes up, it pumps. It has 4 check valves. You can see the picture in the middle is the prototype. You can see a short video of how we built it and assembled it. And the idea here that you have double the volume, because each direction the piston goes, you have suction. So in our case, we installed it in a cistern. In South Mount Hebron, you don't have wells. The aquifer is very, very deep, for one. And the second is that Israel does not allow Palestinians to dig wells. So they collect rainwater. They dug under the ground, in the rock, cisterns. The volume could be something from 50 to 200 or 300 cubic meter. So the rain goes on the ground and fills the cistern. This is our center in South Mount Hebron. You'll see the cistern where we installed we rented the place and renovated it, so part of the compound was the cistern, which is very nice because we can experiment on all pumping. This one is quite old one, was dug by hand. Today people bring all the equipment to dig it. In the old days they were digging under the rock. I don't want to, if people want later, we can, let's see. Then the drawback of this Savonius was that logistically was complicated, because like if you build the drums and cut it, you couldn't do it in the field. So we wanted to have something more modular that you can build, take apart, like the UP got. I mean, you don't build it with the blades here. Well, maybe this one, yes, but the bigger one, and you take it apart, ship it to the field, and so we looked at another design. This is by an American guy. His name is Lance. You can see it on the net. It's quite popular. So we built a model. We tested it just with a Jinlong generator connected to a battery, measured the power, the ampere, the voltage, the power, and then calculated the RPM, and calculated the torque, just to see if it's feasible. This was a small model, so we built a bigger model. We haven't had time to test it yet. This is the bigger model. You can see it's 2 meters high, diameter of about 1 meter. You can see how it moves the piston rods. There's just a bucket with a stone to counterbalance it. We need to evaluate it, you know, run it for a while, do all the evaluation, and then choose. We have some doubt about the structural design of the tower. Maybe we need to change it. In this case, we just purchased off-the-shelf transmission gear, which costs money. We would like to build a simple gear ourselves to make it a robust one, make it simple and low cost. Sorry, we need to improve the dual action piston pump and make some decision whether we want to go for the Savonius or the Lens, and build the system and try to distribute it. This is it.